Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to discuss a very short question, but a very common question that I get from my students, and also I see it quite often on the internet, which is, should you practice very difficult songs for a long time, or should you practice easier songs, but a lot more of them? Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and make sure to check the notifications bell to never miss a new video. Also, I now offer online piano lessons, so if you're looking for a piano lesson from your home, then information is going to be in the description below. Deciding what to practice, very inspiring, difficult pieces, or slightly less amazing but more manageable pieces, is a very hard question for everybody. Now, first of all, if we practice pieces that we are not really enjoying and we don't feel inspired by, we're not going to be motivated to practice piano, and we're not going to carry on, and many adults might just give up. It's a little bit different with children because they have more of a structured learning path, but with adults, because they are so results orientated and they want to make the most of their free time, if they feel like the music is not inspiring enough, they might not practice anything at all. But on the other hand, this can be a double-edged sword, because if you keep practicing something that's very hard and you don't get the results that you're aiming for, and you don't get any feedback that you're doing really well, and you still can't play the piece after 8 months of practicing, then you might just give up and you say, oh, I'm rubbish, I can't play the piano because I practiced this so much and I still can't play it. So you can see where the problem lies. You have to find a golden middle path which allows you to play things that are inspiring enough so that you feel motivated, but also that you get the kind of feedback that you are doing well and you feel accomplished after your practice sessions. Now, I've had students in the past as well, and at the moment as well, who really feel the need to play very difficult pieces because they love them, and there's nothing wrong with that. But my first advice as a teacher and educator is always to try to pick pieces that are a little bit closer to your abilities. And the reason for that is playing the piano is not just about playing one piece. It's about being a good pianist, having good technique, having very good sight reading, and knowing a lot about musical styles. And the last three, being a good sight reader, having very good technique, and knowing a lot about music in general and musical styles, will never come from playing one single piece. Now, if you play a bunch of pieces which are easier, like let's assume every week you learn something new, and some of those pieces are going to be from the classical era, some of them are going to be from the romantic era, some of them are baroque, some of them are modern, then in a very short amount of time, you're going to experience a lot of different styles. You're going to develop an ability to know how to play in these different styles and how expression differs in different styles. Also, the more music you play, the better your sight reading is going to be. If you keep playing the same difficult piece for 6 months, your sight reading is not going to improve at all, because sight reading only improves when we read new music all the time, because then you see different combinations of notes, different combinations of chords, and different combinations of rhythms. If you keep saying the same combinations, then you're basically just memorizing it and not reading it after a week or two. So these are the two reasons for style and sight reading, and technique is one of the most important things about being a good pianist. And unless you play huge sonatas which incorporate so many technical challenges, then you won't get the benefit of these shorter pieces which present a different technical challenge. So for example, if you want to play one of the Chopin etudes and you know that they are insanely difficult and they take a huge amount of time and effort to learn, but most of these etudes focus on one specific pattern. For example, the Ocean etude is just one arpeggio going up and down all the way through in different keys and different patterns. And if you play that piece, you're not going to learn much about chords, you're not going to learn much about scales, you're not going to learn much about staccatos, because the whole thing is legato. So you see my point. You can learn a very difficult piece, and although you practice so much, you still didn't learn so much, because then if I put 4 easier pieces in front of you, you will have no idea how to approach them because you haven't seen those technical problems before. So the final kind of result of this, or advice, is that yes, do play things that inspire you, but do not let yourself focus just on 1 or 2 very difficult pieces. and not do anything else because they are not inspiring enough. You'll see if you want to become a better pianist and you want to have good technique, great sight reading, and good stylistical sense, then trying to break your practice session maybe into half. Focus half of your practice session on a very difficult piece that you find very inspiring and makes you very happy when you're trying to play it. But use the other half of that lesson to play lots of easier pieces. The more pieces you play, the better. And chances are that when you play those easier pieces, you will be able to do a great job at them. You will be able to do them perfectly or close to perfect. But when you play something very hard that's very far away from your level now, you might be able to play it, but it's not going to sound the same as when you hear it on YouTube by a professional pianist. And although that's not a huge problem, we don't all have to sound the same, and a piece can be enjoyable even if it's played half speed or with not perfect technical detail. But the point is, you shouldn't learn a lot of pieces not very well instead of learning easier pieces very well. So I hope this gave you a little bit of advice when you're torn between learning less inspiring pieces and very inspiring but very difficult pieces. Try to find a nice balance between the two, or ideally try to play more things that are around your level for a much quicker progress and more efficient piano overall knowledge. If you have any more questions about this topic, leave it in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, subscribe for more.